Wow. You were talking before, and sorry, something jogged my mind, but like the parallel of what we both did when we left the big firm, right? We left a firm, and you talked about how like you had all this time, and so the time became focusing on marketing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then there comes a point where you get so busy, it starts to fall off a little bit, and I've had that throughout my, since my office has been open. We're coming up on we just had our 5-year anniversary.
Congrats.
Thank you. We're gonna have a big party and stuff, but sometimes you get to a point, and I think that's also something just as a business owner that people need to realize is when it starts to, when the business is so many aspects, and you could get very, very busy with clients. Mm-hmm. But that'll be to the detriment of the marketing, right? And so it's a delicate balance, because I found myself having to peel back away from the legal work and focus much more on the marketing as you grow.
Right. And, peeling back from the marketing side, it's almost like going to the gym, that like once you stop going, it takes a while to get back in and doing it consistently. And so I've gotten back into it consistently now, but it's almost like, oh yeah, this is what it feels like to show my face on camera again. And
but it is so important.
But you have to prioritize it, and we all get, and this is something that I've learned from my coach, we all have 24 hours in a day. It's how we use them.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm pulling all-nighters and doing things like that, but I realized that the social media and the marketing part of it is a really important component to what I'm doing. And I've even now branched that off into doing a Substack.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you heard of Substack?
No, I haven't.
So it's a platform that's been around, I think, since 2017, but I've only really heard about it in the last year or two. Uh-huh. And it's essentially a cross between a newsletter and a blog. So it's written a little bit more in a blog voice, in a blog tone, but you can email it out to your subscribers. Sure. And you can provide a link, and there are ways to monetize it, and some posts can be monetized and things like that, but it allows for longer form content. Yeah. And so that's something that I've started this year as well, and that's really in that educating about immigration space.
How does it look as far as like, and I'm not saying generating business, but are you able to see, because a lot of times some of these different CRMs and stuff, you're able to see if people are opening it, if people are looking at it.
You can. You actually can see
Are you getting engagement with it?
I am. I mean, I've only been at it like 3 weeks. Yeah. So it really is the beginning.
Yeah.
But I also know that in the beginning, with my social media, I was talking to the void.
Yeah.
And then people start following and things like that. And then you're not talking to the void. Yeah. And so that's kind of how it is with this too. And it lives there, and people can go back to it depending, you can set up different like archive structures and things like that. But I started doing it partially in response to like realizing that people don't know a lot about immigration. Yeah. But and also because I realized that I love this advocacy part of it, and I don't know what is there going to be another iteration of my career at some point down the line that's more advocacy based? And this is kind of like flexing that muscle of it.
Yeah, I like that. But any of these different channels, like social media, like there's so many lawyers that are like, Eric, you're on, like you make all these videos. Like, are you getting like, are the cases like, and I always say to them like, like 98% of the stuff that I do on social media, like someone's not getting into a car accident and giving me a call because they saw me on social media. Right. It just doesn't happen. Right. I mean, it's very, 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 very rare. But what they don't realize is they called me and they talked to me, you know what I mean? And we built a relationship. And so I always look at social media whenever I'm doing all these videos on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. TikTok is going to be gone on Saturday. Okay, say goodbye to TikTok. So let's double down on Instagram, because I don't know about like Red Note or whatever the other Chinese app.
I know. I just started hearing about that.
And then there's like Lemonade. I don't know. But like what people need to understand, especially like Instagram, it's like all these videos that I put out, I'm building a relationship with that person, that lawyer. Right. Like we built the relationship through Instagram, not because I was marketing towards car accident people. I'm just talking about tips and different things and interesting stuff and putting out good content. They're the ones that are reaching out. And
the same way that an artist or a model has a portfolio, this is almost kind of like a virtual portfolio.
Yeah, like a portfolio of stuff so other people see, but they don't, but I guess the psychology of it, they don't realize it's that it's them. You know what I mean? Like they're like, 'cause a lot of people will be like, Eric, like, is it working for you? Like you just asked me the question, is it working? Yes, because you're talking to me right now. You're thinking about me.
Right.
You know?
When somebody sees it, they may not need you in the moment or know that they're going to need you in the future. But when the need arises, you're somewhere back there in their brain and be like, wait, I remember seeing like this attorney posting stuff about personal injury. What was his name? And they go and they find you. And there
it's so funny. There was one. It's just the other day, like on Sunday, I got a phone call. There was a car accident in, I think it was North Carolina. This person found me. They reached out to me, and I don't handle cases in North Carolina, but I know lawyers. Right. And there was a lawyer who I went to a big, it was like a marketing seminar up in Atlanta, and he recognized me from social media, came up, introduced himself. We became friends, exchanged numbers. He's a North Carolina personal injury lawyer. Mm-hmm. Lo and behold, case comes in. And that's how it works. You know what I mean? You build relationships, and that's what social media is about.
It all comes back to that word community.
Yeah, community. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And I love that you have that with the Polish culture, that you have this group, and it's within the church or wherever it is that you go where that community gets together. But that is a really, really tight, important thing, you know. And I don't go to a synagogue. I'm not very religious, you know, and But that it's something that is a really great thing.
But community manifests itself
in different ways,
in so many different ways, and they can be overlapping. They could be completely separate, but you can have your foot in so many different types of communities. Yeah, no, I know it's so important. It is, and again, it's also like you want to find a community that you enjoy being a part of. Like you enjoy that. It's your culture. It's other people. Like I'm not big on going to like a small solo networking group. Like I'm not, for some reason I don't love showing up there. But do I love showing up to the law school and talking to students? That's another area. If you show up somewhere where it's not really vibing with you, people are going to see right through that. Yeah. And then it's counterproductive because now you come across as the attorney who's just there to get business and it works against you. And so, you're right to don't even go there, because go where you feel most authentic, most yourself, and that jives with you. Yeah. Yeah. And find something that you're passionate about, that you enjoy, because life is short. Life is short. We got it. And we talked about this earlier, but I do want to talk like a little bit about that story we talked about earlier. But when you worked at a big firm, and there was a big time lawyer who's very well respected, who brought in a major account, right? And he had the potential he probably did make a lot of money. And he ended up passing away, right? Yeah. So brought in a huge account. That's kind of how I ended up at the firm to begin with, was because of this account, and had a really great relationship with him even before I joined the firm. And his passing kind of shocked me. Yeah. And put things in perspective. Of life is short. And then that was reinforced by the pandemic, when all the diversions are stripped away. Yeah. And then just health issues with people in my family, where I was like, this isn't the way I want to keep going. I want to be able to go to my grandmother's house on a Wednesday afternoon because it's her 90th birthday and she wanted Pizza Hut. Yeah. Yeah. And go and have Pizza Hut with her. Pizza sounds good right now, right? Too, by the way. and do that on a Wednesday afternoon without worrying that the billable hours aren't stacking up. Yeah, yeah, and things like that. Because at the end of the day, that's what was important to me. It's the most important thing ever. It's like you got to find something that you enjoy and that you're passionate about, and that like you're gonna look back and say, hey, I'm happy I did this. Like I lived a good life. And like the way it came up, it was interesting because you were telling me about this. You were working at this law firm, and one of the partners got this big account. Yeah. And in my mind, I'm like, well, he must have made a killing. And you're like, yeah, he did pretty good, but he died 2 years later of a heart attack or whatever it was. And it's like, could you imagine? It's like there's so many young law students and lawyers that are like, I just want to make a fortune. I want to do this. I want to do that. Like, just don't forget, like sometimes that path will drive you into the ground. You know what I mean? Like you will work yourself, and then you won't have the rest of your life to live. You know? I mean, and really it's the path for all of us, but it's what you do with your time in between. And I realized that wasn't for me. It took me a while to come to that realization.
Yeah.
But I did, and I'm glad that I did.
Yo, for sure. And you're doing fantastic. You are the world-renowned Mosaic Law. Okay.
Thank you.
So how is it that people, if they have any type of immigration need, how do they get in touch with you? What's the name of your firm? What's your name? And just describe a little bit about it.
My firm is Mosaic Law, located in Coral Springs. But the beauty of things post-pandemic is we can do so much virtually. So we can do consultations virtually, things like that. I'm attorney Christina on all social media channels. And in the link in bios, things like that, you can find the link to schedule consultations. My email is christina@mosaic.law. Nice and short and sweet. And so reach out to me in any of those ways.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. And it makes it, social media makes it so easy for people to get in touch with you. But when we talk about an immigration client, do they have to be in Florida to hire you, or can they be anywhere? Explain that.
They can be anywhere. So immigration is completely federal based. So I can appear in immigration offices in Oklahoma City and in immigration courts in New York, wherever. And because a lot of immigration is submission, or at least, before U.S. citizenship and immigration services, it's submitting paperwork. And we can exchange documents electronically. We can meet by phone and by Zoom. So I can represent clients anywhere in the U.S., anywhere in the world, because for interviews at embassies and consulates, attorneys aren't allowed to attend the interviews. So I don't need to travel to those countries. And so it's just a matter of facilitating paperwork. So we can do that from anywhere and can be licensed. I can be licensed in Florida and practice immigration in any state.
All right. So anyone around the world needs an immigration attorney, they reach out to Attorney Christina.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. Listen, I've had a blast having you on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Chatting. Yeah. This has been a lot of fun. And I just think you're doing such a great job, and your firm is going to continue to grow and thrive. And I'm just happy that you're passionate and you enjoy what you're doing. Well,
thank you so much for that. And I'm so glad that we were able to connect. I definitely taking my marketing tips from you.
Well, I appreciate it. All right. That's a wrap.